Hi friends, hi new viewers and old viewers alike. Welcome to my channel. This is Whiskey and Wool. My name is Shannon. I am coming to you from northern New Jersey where I work and I live and I craft. Most of my crafting's done here. I do take my stuff on the road, of course, don't we all? Don't we all? It's December 21st, it's winter solstice, and I am wearing a Christmas sweater. This is the Tree Oak sweater, the designer's name I forgot, but I'm going to post it on, I'll pop it on screen right here. I recolored it using Christmas colors. It was not intended to be a Christmas sweater. But yeah, anyway, you can see all about it on my project page, the yarns I used and all of that. Anyway, I think it's the 64th episode, and I have many finished objects to share with you today. Martha is wearing one. I will talk about that in a second. First, I want to give you a little whiskey chat. So if you have been following along on my Vlogmas, you know that I have a Scotch whiskey advent calendar. And in that calendar, I get little bottles like this of samples, 1 glass, 1 dram, samples of whiskey, from all over Scotland. So it's been really, really fun to open and see, to discover some new whiskeys that new to me whiskeys, and to see some old friends as well. And I thought I would use it to share with you some whiskey chat. So today I am drinking this one. It is called Wolfburn Northland. So this distillery, I'm gonna just pull up my notes to make sure I am sharing with you. This distillery reopened in 2012. So you'll notice that there's no year on here. I think this is a 3-year whiskey, which really isn't very long for whiskey. Like the most typical whiskeys that you see sold are at least 10 years. Occasionally there'll be a 8 or 9 or 7 year. But because this distillery is so young, it's been putting, and they've got to make money. I always wondered how, deciding to establish a whiskey distillery is an investment in the future, because you're brewing and distilling something that you won't be able to sell for 3 years, because it's a minimum of 3 years. If it's an Irish or Scottish whiskey, it must be aged for 3 years. So I think that's what this particular one is, aging for 3 years. The distillery, it is known as Scotland's northernmost mainland distillery. So there isn't a Scottish island north of the mainland that has, I think, 2 distilleries on it, but this is the northernmost distillery. I believe it was the one when I've talked about this before, but Game of Thrones did a 12-bottle collection, and they worked with individual distilleries, connecting the distillery characteristics with the characteristics of these fictitious houses in Game of Thrones. So I think this was used for the Stark House. I think this is what was used for the Stark House, because of the wolf, and then it's the furthest north and all of that stuff. So it is owned by a company called Aurora Brewing Company, and I think it'll be fun and interesting to see what happens as they get more years under their belt and can release older and older whiskeys. This one is very drinkable. I mean, for a 3-year, this is it. It's very pale, which isn't unusual for a young whiskey. Or whiskeys will also be pale dependent upon the other ingredients that are shared or that are used in the process, and also the process itself. A lot of it is like some of the deeper whiskeys that you see from Scotland are a result of the peat, in the amount of peat in the water. So this does not have a distinctively peaty taste, nor is it distinctively smoky, which we do see in some of the other northern distilleries in Scotland. Instead, when I poured this into the glass and took a whiff, I said to myself, this smells like caramel apple, like apples cooked in butter, or apple, like just very sort of this fall fruit, apples and pears scent to it. And so that's on the nose. There is a hint of spice, but not a lot, I would say. And the taste does not disappoint. There's a much more buttery taste on the tongue than you smell. You get a hint of it, but it's probably mostly apple when you smell it. But on the tongue, very buttery and rich tasting. You get the little bit of spice in the back. It's really good. It's really, really yummy. I recommend it. I'm buying my youngest son. He likes to sip whiskey too. So I think I'm gonna buy a bottle of this for him because I think he would enjoy it. And the name is really cool. So let's see what the experts say about it. The experts say, the cask type is former bourbon and former sherry, just like many other distilleries. This says hot clove and pepper thrown in with a bouquet of meadow flowers and red apple and pear add some juiciness. So it's right on track. Oh, there's an element of buttery scone that adds some weight mid-palate. And there's no mistaking that this is a young whiskey as the finish is quite abrupt and hot. Oh yeah, I would not disagree with that. But it shows some decent potential as a precursor for more mature releases. So that, yeah. There you go. That's your whiskey chat. Yeah, if I do get a bottle, I might be able to put a picture in if I buy a bottle before I'm done editing this. Okay. Knitting, yarn, wool chat. Okay, wool chat. Finished objects. I have several. This one right here is one that I've been working on since August. It does not have a name. It is inspired by a store-bought sweater, so it's one of my own designs, but this is the store-bought sweater right here. This is from J. Crew. I bought it a couple years ago, probably maybe even more than a couple years ago. But it's a rib knit, 100% merino, very stretchy. What I call a layering tee. So it's something that in the colder days of winter, fall and winter here, I'll put this on. Sometimes I'll put another cardigan over them or something. But I have several of these in different colors that I wear quite frequently as an underpiece. So it's time to buy more. So I decided that before I bought more, I was going to try to make one. So I have designed this look right here. So I decided to do a Henley. And my plan with the pattern when I release it, I won't be releasing this until springtime, probably like early spring, March or so, maybe April. My plan with the pattern is to give you lots of options to be able to do the button Henley or not, to do tipping or not, to pick your rib stitch or to even do it in stockinette if you wish. But it will be a very, very flexible pattern. Let me just give you a look back here. I have some ends to weave in still. That's what it looks like on the back. I have worn this once already. If you watch my Vlogmas, you saw me in it. Super comfortable, and it does exactly what I wanted. I thought that I would get a little more relaxing on the pattern than I did, but I still have quite a lot of positive ease over on the sides. So I'd probably say I have about 3 inches on this side and probably 3 on that side, so that gives me 6 inches all around of positive ease. But it is a rib knit, so it does look like it fits actually exactly the way this one does, because this one also fits me pretty much like this, where it's a little, I have some more obvious ease in the waist, and then on the hip, it fits on the hip and it fits in the bust, on the bust line. So yeah, that is my latest design. This particular stitch pattern is called Mistake Rib. So when I release the pattern, this will be an option, or you can find your own rib knit. I am going to be making 2 more of these for myself, because like I said, I like to wear them a lot. I like to wear them frequently. The next one that I'm going to work on is going to be out of this Plucky Knitters Sport Weight. This is Primo Sport, which is a merino cashmere nylon blend. Just make sure you can see that. So this colorway, may as well take it out, right? I already started down this path. I haven't told you about this yarn, but I'm going to tell you about this yarn. This colorway here, this is called Aunt Bootsy, I think. Yeah, Aunt Bootsy. I don't know what that's a reference to, but whatever. Aunt Bootsy. This yarn was a sport weight, is a sport weight, but I think, you know, if you don't have sport weight on hand, this is also sport weight. I think a fingering weight would probably work just fine. I've come to realize that my gauge is looser than most people. So if I'm getting gauge with a sport weight, you would probably, oh, you'd have to go heavier. Ooh, maybe you could do this in DK if you wanted. Anyway, that's a problem for another day. All right, so the yarn I'm using is this, that I've used in this is this right here. This is what I have left. This is Qing Fibre. Here it is. Tweed sock. I haven't seen tweed sock as a base in her shop in a long time. It says it's 100% merino, but I get the feeling it's got some superwash in it, or that it's superwash, I'm not sure. And the colorway is Panda, which is a colorway that she does frequently. Sorry, I'm moving all around. You can see it says Panda. She writes it in silver. So this is what I have left. I have a pretty substantial amount left of this yarn. But yeah, to be continued. And that's the yellow that I use. This is a little gray sheep yellow leftover from a sweater that I made. Little leftover mini. But I had bought a mini set to do a colorwork yoke sweater, and this was a little leftover. So that's what the yellow tipping is. This yarn bled a lot. Yeah, it kind of washed out the yellow a bit. It bled a lot of black, and it did kind of gray my yellow. But it's still quite bright. It looks good, right? I mean, it's not as bright as this was, but that's what happens when you work with indie dyed yarn. I mean, I guess I could have pre-washed it, but I didn't really. I don't know, I didn't really know what I was planning to do. I had it all caped before I figured it out. Anyway, let's move on because I have a lot to get through today. Okay, I have been gift knitting like crazy. So last week I showed you this cute little Racerback tee, size extra small, out of Stitch Together Studio yarn in the colorway Hurt from the Cash Club. All that will be popped on screen. So I have now made a matching. This looks so tiny. I hope it fits her. I had nightmares last night that it wasn't going to fit her, but it will really stretch. Anyway, this is this tiny little thing is a matching bralette, ripple bralette, also from Jessie Maed Designs. So we will see. If this doesn't fit, I will take it back and knit it bigger, because I still have these two pieces. This was one skein, and this I still have some left, so that's what I have left. So extra small though, both of them extra small. This one I absolutely followed the pattern. I think I did a little variation. I think I made the total length of the piece a little bit longer. I'm not used to the camera being up so high. I think I need to maybe tilt it downward a little bit. And then, yeah, now I don't, you can't see the top of Martha, but I don't think you really need to anymore, right? But at least because I'm gesturing to things, and I'm finding that I need to hold them up higher. Anyway, so I do have extra if I need to reknit the bra and make it bigger. So we'll see. I'll know after Christmas what the status of that is. Okay. I went on and knit a second Breeze Racerback tee for another recipient. This one I was using up, which yarn is this? Oh, this is Junkyarn. I have it here somewhere. Or not. Okay, I guess I don't. Oh, here it is. Junkyarn. This yarn is Junkyarn. colors inspired by women. So this is the colorway Holly Go Lightly. I bought it at VK Vogue Knitting Live in New York City in 2018, January 2018. I had used a little bit of this skein for another project, for a scrappy project that I was working on, and so I didn't have quite enough to finish. So she ends up with a section, a triangle, the back triangle all being purple. I actually don't dislike this as an accent on the piece. I think it works pretty well, actually. Had I known that was going to happen, I might have chosen to put the purple somewhere else, but I think it's really cute and cool, and I think it's going to look great on her. I have also completed a ripple bralette for this recipient, so though these don't match, I think they go together. I think they go together pretty well. This little bralette is size small, so you can see it's a little bit bigger. It actually seems to me substantially bigger than the extra small, but maybe that's the way it is. So again, I'm not positive that I've got the sizing right for the recipient, so I do have more of this yarn. I've got more of it right here. This was a 50-gram skein. This was part of my Christmas minis, or sorry, my Christmas Advent yarns. This was a 50-gram skein from Cat Sandwich Fiber, and I absolutely love the color. I think it's so cool. I love how it self-stripes in the pattern. You can see that on the straps. Maybe you could see it better on this side, how much bigger the stripes get because you're knitting, you know, only 6 stitches wide. So it was really, really fun to knit and watch those striping, that self-striping, line itself up and stuff. Super cool. And I love that it didn't matter how big around I was making it, that it was working that way no matter what. Sorry, there was a little drama over by the bird feeding station. So there's a big woodpecker that kind of chases all the other birds away and freaks them out. Digression. Sorry about that. My cat's on the case, so he's gonna go get him. Okay, yeah. So this will be for one recipient, the black set for another. So I've got 2 full sets done, and I am working on 2 more size small ripple bralettes for other recipients. So I have 1 so far. I've got 1 started. This is another of the 50-gram skeins from Cat Sandwich Fibers from my 7-day Advent calendar. I love how it's sort of making a rainbow. Like at first I picked this color for the recipient because she loves yellow, and this was a very yellow heavy skein, but when as I started to knit it, I was like, you know, kind of looks like a rainbow. It's got purple, blue, green, orange, what else? Orange, red, like the rusty red. Yeah, practically all of them. Of course, it's like a very muted rainbow, but I don't mind. Hoping to get this done. This is supposed to go in someone's stocking on Christmas morning, so I'm hoping I should have this. Actually, I'm finding that they knit in about 1.5 days or 2 days at the most, depending on how much knitting time I have. So I should be okay, and I have a 3rd one planned you know, if I can get, or sorry, a 5th, this is my 5th one. I have a 6th one planned, 4th one for this week because I've knit 2 already this week. This is my 3rd for the week. So yeah, that is my work one. I've moved on to work in progress. That's taking all my time for the next couple days. But since I last spoke to you, I did make some progress also on this sweater right here. Oh, cat is playing. I should move that when I podcast. So I've been working away on the Achikochi by Iri Shimizu. I think I'm saying her name right. I might have it wrong. I'm sure you'll tell me down in the comments if I get it wrong, because you guys are good at that, letting us know our mistakes. Yeah, so here is my sweater so far. So I've been working away on the on the, I think last time I showed you, I had just separated for the sleeves, and sorry, he is all riled up, so I hope that's not too distracting for you. So I had just separated for the sleeves, so I got quite a lot done. I probably knit about 6 inches or so. I don't have to knit too much more. This is intended to be a slightly cropped sweater with a very long 1x1 rib at the bottom, which will be the color, the red yarn. So this is my Christmas Not Christmas sweater. I don't think it, I mean, it can be Christmas-ish, but it's not, it doesn't scream Christmas. I can certainly wear it other times. The red is my own hand spun. It's this skein right here. It has some beautiful sparkle in it and some flecks of sari silk in it. It's my little cable needle sticking out. So I really, really love this. I love the black in it. I love the hot pink. It's gorgeous. And I'm excited to have big sections of it, because in this pattern here, you're seeing it, but you're not really seeing it hugely, like in huge amounts. Like you're not really getting the, you know, like the impact of how it'll be when it's all together, or there's big sections of it. I did do some mods, so if you have knit this sweater yourself, you'll recognize that I have added in some short rows for the back, because I don't really like it when the back of my neck is cold, and frankly, like, I'm a little worried that this neck is a bit big. I'm hoping in blocking, like a bit wide, I'm hoping in blocking it'll work. I have to say, when I hold it up to me myself, it looks fine. But we'll see. I mean, we'll see what happens when I block it and how it all ends up laying down. I think it will close up a bit, because I think right now it's curling and it's making it wider. It's a super interesting stitch that we do. It's kind of like a woven stitch, I'd say. And you end up, I actually, right now, I don't know if I could even explain to you what I did. I think you end up like, oh, I know what you do. You hold the yarn in front as you're knitting, so, and that creates this like woven look, and then you do it in a certain pattern so that you get the V shape here. And you do that again, and like on this row here, it's done again right here. And then these are knit in as usual, and then you do that again here. And I think you do this same stitch down just above the ribbing on the bottom. I did unintentionally make a couple other mods in the color pattern. I just wasn't paying close attention to the chart. So, because I think like with these were supposed to alternate which direction they went, and you can see that all 3 rows go in the same direction. And my final mod was intentional this time. There was this big textured section right here that I only did a little textured section because I knew I was putting in short rows, and I didn't want to continue to grow the armhole all that much, so I chose to just do a small textured section. So yeah, I absolutely adore this yarn. This is yarn that I got at the gray yarn. I adore my hand spun as well, but the gray yarn is amazing. It is a Scottish yarn maker called Lammermuir Wool. It is mostly Shetland with a blend of Romney. And yeah, it is just beautiful. I got it at the, I know there's not going to be any Edinburgh Yarn Festival this coming in 2020, and who knows if they'll be back. But if they do come back, I had bought this not at the main event, but at an event that was on Sunday. So it seemed like the past couple years they had done this like sort of farm yarn event on Sunday. So that was when I bought it. But it's so soft. I think it's going to block beautifully, and just really bloom and just, oh yeah, be a super scrumptious sweater. My goodness, cat, you are so annoying. So cute, but so annoying. Okay, so that is my, yeah, those are all my works in progress, things that have gotten work this this time around. And yeah, because I've mostly been gift knitting, so I did well though, I think. I think I have a lot to show, and once I get over the hump of doing the gift knitting that I'm doing, I will go back to certainly finishing the gray sweater, and I'll go back to a couple of my other long languishing whips. And I want to share with you for my last segment, my future knitting. This is for my Vogue Knitting Live sweater. I was struck by this inspiration about a week or so ago, maybe 2 weeks ago. I bought the yarn. It arrived so fast. I bought the yarn from, hang on one sec. I'm gonna tell you about it. I'm gonna hold it and tell you about it. I bought the yarn from Stephen and Penelope. And it came in 2 days. So I placed the order Sunday. I had it by Tuesday. I was in shock. Like, wow. I can't get yarn from New Jersey that fast. Like if I ordered from a company in New Jersey. Unless I drive down to the local yarn shop. That's the only way I could get yarn faster. But I was floored. So anyway, I had this idea for a sweater of my own design. So I'm not going to share too much, but I can share the yarn. So I am going to make for Vogue a sweater out of melted baby suri, out of the baby suri blend. This is the color from Qing Fibre. She changed her labels and now they're really hard to read on, well, I would say on screen for sure. But this is the, if you're not familiar with this, I think most people are familiar with this, the baby suri. She calls hers melted suri instead of baby suri. But it's this, they're all the same blend. It's a 65% alpaca, and then I think it has a dab of, I wish I could read it, but it's really hard to read. I think it has a dab of, I know it has a dab of nylon, and I think it's also merino. So I think it's wool, alpaca, and merino, mostly alpaca. But it knits up, this is not the color knit up, but this is a different color knit up. It knits up into a really nice sort of haze, see the haze on it, really fuzzy, soft, and also drapey. Oh, it has silk in it, I'll put everything on screen. I really am having trouble reading it because it's so pale and I don't have my reading glasses over here, so I will pop on screen the content. But anyway, it has beautiful drape, and when I knit and blocked the swatch, I had absolutely no growth, so that was really cool because alpaca is known for growing quite a lot. People talk about their alpaca sweaters, if it's 100% alpaca or almost all alpaca, growing and growing and growing and growing as they wear them. So I don't anticipate that being a problem, but I am trying to take into account the drapability and stuff of it. So yeah, so I am so excited to start this sweater. I think I'm gonna have this will be my Christmas Day cast on, because Vogue New York is usually either the second to last or last weekend in January. So yeah, I have about a month to make it, which is plenty of time. So to pair up with the melted baby suri from Qing, I will be pairing it with a wool from Asylum Fiber. This is, it's a golden rule, the base. I think it's the base. The color is Endorphins. So golden rule is a superwash nylon and gold stellina blend. So it's got a little bit of sparkle. I think you can catch a glimpse of it there. But that will be the trim color. This is going to be basically rib, cuffs, and bottom. I think that's gonna work well. I wanted a pretty tonal pink, and what happened was I went to Red Bank for the evening, and when I knew that this was on its way, so that night, Tuesday night, when this yarn came in, I was in Red Bank, and I said to myself, oh my gosh, my yarn is here, and I want to pair it with a tonal pink. Let me go into Chelsea Yarns and see if I could find a pink that will go along with it. So I was working with a picture. So these aren't perfect, but I actually think it's perfect. Like, it's perfectly imperfect, if that makes sense. I think that it'll go together nicely. I didn't want anything too highly speckled, but you see the orange in there? It's just subtly orange. So I do need to cake this up and swatch it to see if it is going to, when I put that fabric next to this fabric, if they go together. But yeah, this is, oh, I'm so excited to get started on this. I just need to get through my gift knitting, and yeah, this will be the next sweater I cast on. All right. I think that's my episode for you. I'm sorry again about the kitty. I was gonna try to catch him on film, but it just didn't work out. Every time I picked up my phone to film him while I'm sitting right here, he ran away. He's been very rambunctious. I don't know what is happening. I think the bird got him all wired up over there. But anyway, happy holiday, everybody, and I hope you have a wonderful end of year, and I look forward to seeing you again. Thank you so much for spending time with me. I look forward to seeing you again in the new year. I will come back in January with my how I did on my Make 9, my summary of what I have made in 2019, and then what my plans are for 2020. And I hope you enjoy my channel. If you do, please like and subscribe. That helps my little channel grow. And I will see you soon. See you again soon. Bye.